It's like me when I used to cover stuff with my managers during staff meetings. I haven't read this, but I expect all of you to follow it.
But my spine is more curled than his.
I'm old, so I'm naturally sort of, shrinking. Hello, I'm Larry, and this is Carter's Country. Today, I'm joined by the lovely and talented Billy Carter, and we're going to talk. What? I can't use adjectives.
You start right from the get-go. To the juggler we go, don't
I'm sure
we, sir?
somebody's referred to you like that. I mean, no one I know, but I'm sure someone has at some point. Maybe in kindergarten. I don't know. Take what you can get.
Yes, sir. Take the hit, I know.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk today about shotguns. There's the break open, semi-automatic, and the pump. And we're going to show you an example of each one of those, talk a little bit about them, go into some of the things that matter about barrel length, talk just a little bit about different choke options you have on shotguns, and then we'll go out and do a little bit of shooting. The first one we've got here, Billy, is the OverUnder, the break action, which, back in the old days, you had the side-by-side double barrel. We've kind of evolved to the OverUnder, which is a little bit better for hunting purposes and things like that. And it's one of the more popular things right now, particularly with skeet and trap shooters.
Right, and sporting clay shooters also.
Yeah.
And like the single barrel shotguns are kind of falling by the wayside. You know, whenever your first 410 shotgun you got when you were growing up?
I had one, yeah. I still haven't grown up yet, but I did get that shotgun a long time ago. But yeah, that's a good point. That's single shot is also a break action. So let's go ahead and take a look at this beauty you've got here and kind of walk us through it.
This is a Browning trap gun, basically, with an extra high rib and so forth. It's more of a competition type shotgun, but it still all works the same. On OverUnder shotguns, you've got a lever on the top side, and you'll typically always push the lever to the right, and then you'll pull the barrel down like this. At this point in time, you have access to two barrels, one on the bottom, one on the top. Loading mechanism is like this. Of course, these are dummy rounds. They're play rounds right now, so this would go in here like this. And then this would go in here like this, close it like that. And at that point in time, the gun is ready to fire. Once you push it off safety, we're just going to dry fire this and show you what happens when you open it up, okay? You're going to dry fire once, twice, and then you're going to pretend like we've already shot. Boop.
Okay, so what we've got here basically is the old side-by-side Elmer Fudd gun, rotated 90 degrees, and now the barrels are on top of each other.
Correct.
Kind of talk about some of the unique advantages that gives you versus a semi-automatic or a pump shotgun in a hunting application or trap and skeet.
Well, first off, your second shot follow-up is always going to be much quicker when OverUnder. I mean, typically, but you also don't have to worry about functionality.
Right.
I mean, you don't have to worry about your automatic jamming or you're trying to pump your pump
Nothing,
shotgun.
Right, no moving parts.
No moving parts. It's very simple. I mean, even Elmer Fudd could probably operate.
Well, he did. I watched him for years do it. I never saw him actually get a wabbit, but I did. I did watch him diligently hunt them for years.
Right. Like what we talked about before, there's a million different variations of these guns, and all different kind of price points. So pretty much you can fit anything you want to. I mean, majority of these guns like these are used for sporting clay shoots and stuff like that.
Right.
It's huge now in the United States. I mean, well, really worldwide now more than anything else. And just to kind of briefly touch on the chokes. With an OverUnder, you've got, or really all shotguns nowadays have actually screw-in chokes, all right? And you've got what a choke is basically. It's a constriction. If you had no choke in there, you have just a straight barrel. This shot just goes out, spreads everywhere. When they do with these chokes, it actually squeezes the shot down as it comes through the barrel itself. So that way, it kind of pulls the actual shot string. Everybody thinks it's just a cloud of actual pellets go out there, but it's actually a shot string is what it is. It's a long. If you ever look at that kind of stuff. Anyway, so moving right along, you have four different basic chokes. Full chokes can be the farthest shooting, probably 40 to 45 yards. Your modified is going to be, your 30, 35 yard shots. Your improved cylinder and skeet is going to be that's your skeet range shooting, 20, 25 yard shots. Yeah. And there's many other individuals in between there, much fancier ones, but we're not going to get involved in all that right now.
And honestly, I think most people wouldn't. It wouldn't serve their purpose to drill it down any further unless you're in the competition type stuff. Right. The improved cylinder giving you the shorter shot, but a wider pattern, modified kind of the happy medium between the two, and the full designed to get out there a little further and hold you a tighter pattern. So that gives you three pretty good variables. And the great thing about shotgun chokes is they're so easily interchangeable. And you know, in an over-under, you could have 2 different types of chokes ready to go in one shoot. Whereas your semi-automatic or pump, you've got to make that one, and that's what you're going to ride with.
That's right.
All right, the next gun we're going to talk about here is the pump action. That was the precursor to the semi-automatic. It gave you the ability, unlike the old side-by-sides, gave you the ability to load more rounds, get more rounds out faster. One thing about the pump shotgun, if you've ever seen a movie, pretty much any movie, when you hear that sound, that's a very distinct sound, and it kind of tells you that if you're out somewhere and up to no good, you hear that noise, you know whatever plan you had is about to go horribly wrong, and you should immediately stop whatever that plan was. So it does have that going for it, but getting away from that application.
Cease and desist, that's all.
Yeah, that's basically what it says. It's stop doing what you think you're about to do. Let's talk a little bit about how it works, kind of, walk us through what it does, what its advantages are. The one you got here is a classic Remington 870. Don't know how many millions of those there are out there, but there's plenty.
Lots, for sure. Well, like I said, this is the standard Remington 870 Wingmaster. The gun's been around forever and a day. This being a pump shotgun, very simple to work with. All you do, as far as loading process, you'll throw one straight in the chamber right there. You close it up with the pump. You push your rounds in the magazine like that. This particular gun right here does not have a plug in, so it would hold 4 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the barrel. Okay, as you fire through the gun, you will simply, of course, you understand those are dummy rounds to shoot, so we're just going to pull the trigger, dry fire it right now with the dummy rounds in there. You pull, and you chuck it back, pulls out the other one, you push it back in, and the other one gets back in there. You pull again, back and forth just like that.
Okay, Billy, let's say it's the end of the day, the birds quit flying, you're ready to head back to the truck to go back to the camp house, but you still got a loaded shotgun. What do you do to get it unloaded and safe to transport? Well,
first thing you always do, you want to be sure the safety's on, okay? And you always want to be sure that you have the gun pointed in safe direction, okay?
Right.
And on 870s like this, they have a little lever on the inside, right here, that you would simply push down, and then you would wrap the one out of the chamber, write the next one in, same process, take the other one out, and now you can physically look inside the chamber and put your finger in there, be sure the gun's unloaded and safe at that point in time. Right?
Yeah, I think it's important to remember when you kick that first one out, as soon as you pull that pump handle back up, another one's in there. So it's not just a matter of, okay, we're done. You just keep doing that until it quits throwing out rounds. Then basically, you know you're good. Yes. Visual inspection, like you said, put your finger in there. You know, okay, I'm good. Put the gun up, head back to the camp house.
Yeah, that's correct, sir.
Okay, next we've got the semi-automatic. I think in today's world, it's probably the most prominent shotgun out there. It's the one I think we sell the most of. And the semi-automatic, kind of self-explanatory if you know much about guns. It basically works the same, I guess, as semi-automatic pistol or rifle. Once it's loaded and you have one in the chamber, every time you pull the trigger, it's going to eject the shell, load the next one for you, and you're ready to just pull the trigger again and keep going. So kind of walk us through it a little bit, and then we'll go through the same deal, kind of unloading and the safety parts of it.
Okay. This being semi-automatic banana shotgun, 24-inch camo, one of probably the most popular shotguns that we've sold here for the last 35, 40 years, or ever since it got designed, so forth. Very simple operation. Simply going to throw the first round, insert the shank into the receiver. Then you can push the button on the bottom. Okay, and then as far as the actual loading the magazine, so push straight forward into these. This gun here has a plug in it, so we'll hold 1 on the top and 2 in the bottom. All right. The safety's on the rear of the gun. Red always means dead. So right now you know it's on safety. When we push it through like that, you'll see the red. Okay, we're going to go and just unload the shotgun right now. We're just going to pull straight back. And that's going to take that first one out of there. Then you're going to reach down. You can hit this lever on the side of the gun right here. Push in. That will allow the next one in the magazine to come down in place and hold. You pull back. and you let go, and then that's going to load that one inside the loading area into the barrel itself. Then you hit this button on the side again, and you pull straight back, and out it comes. At that point in time, you visually inspect that the actual chamber is clean, or clear rather, and then you actually just put your finger and be sure nothing else is in there along the way. And then at this point in time, the gun is now perfectly safe and ready to be transported or do whatever you want to at that point in time.
Okay, Billy, on the semi-automatic, I mean, every one of these types, the break open, the pump, the semi-automatic, all are going to get the job done. What are some of the advantages that some people feel makes them want to lean towards a semi-automatic versus one of the other two?
Well, probably one of the biggest advantages is going to be like you have less felt recoil of semi-automatic because the actual gas system, as far as its operating action with the bolt carrier coming back, it actually bleeds some of that gas back through the barrel, so it has more of a smoother transaction as far as against your shoulder, so less felt recoil.
Okay, so it kind of eats some of the recoil for you to operate the action. Okay, good.
The only pitfall is that you got to be sure you stand up to it.
Right, you got to be ready.
You got to take the recoil, what little bit you get out of it. Just be sure it functions right.
Right.
Okay.
All right.
And then as far as that goes, I mean, there's really not a whole lot else I can say.
Okay, I think the next major decision, once you've decided on what type of action you want, is barrel length. Barrel length can have a lot to do with exactly what applications your shotgun are suitable for. Kind of walk us through some of those. We don't need to go into, I guess, everything that's out there because there's a lot. Yeah. We would miss one, and somebody would comment and go, "What about this one?"
Yeah.
So basic barrel lengths.
Right. In the norm hunting world right now, typically you look at most everything is 26, 28, 30-inch barrel lengths is most accepted hunting barrel lengths as far as across the border. Anything to do with competition type shotguns, as far as sporting clays, trap and skeet, trap people like 34s, and then majority of actual sporting clays people like 30s and 32s. Okay. And then you go down to like new people just getting involved in this market. Like ladies and kids. I mean, typically most ladies and kids style shotguns have 18 to 20-inch barrels on them because you have less weight up front, so it's easier for them to hold the guns up and operate the guns correctly. Right. The big thing is, you really don't get anything extra out of the actual barrel lengths. The old fallacy says, well, you get more velocity of a longer barrel, but all the modern propellants are gone by the time they get in the first 10 inches of barrel length. So it does really very little to no good for that.
Because I had heard that my whole life, so I'm glad to know it's just a recent change and I haven't been wrong the whole time.
Well, not really the whole time. No.
Okay. Way to go, me. Winning.
Yeah. And then also, a lot of times your barrel length will affect your sight picture. And so the longer barrel length, whenever you talk about the competition guys, the trap and skeet guys, the sporting clays guys, the reason they like the longer barrels is because you have a little bit more weight out front, so you have a tendency to enhance your actual smooth swing. Right. And there's also, there's, several theories out there or several practices that your perceived lead will be less with a longer barrel than with a short barrel. And we'll wait to go into a little bit more detail about those kind of things later. Yeah, the people that get into that competition shooting, it's like anything, I guess. Once you get deep into it, every little detail is such a big thing. But for to your point, the average shooter, you're looking 18 to 20 inch on the youth, on up to maybe 28 to 30. Somewhere in that range is going to be a gun that will do what you're going to want it to do. Right. This is the Remington B3. Technically, this is not considered a shotgun. It's considered a firearm because of the 14-inch barrel length and because of the pistol grip area back here. So without that grip, if you had a standard stock on this wouldn't be legal, basically. Oh no, okay. Not at all. Good to know. This would require a tax stamp for sure. Yeah. But they're perfectly legal, as far as in the actual real world right now. I mean, these are very popular shotguns, of course, for what they're designed to do. But this here again is strictly for security type purposes. Right. That's no hunting application with this. Unless maybe you're hunting snakes that are right there at your feet or something. I don't know. Maybe.
But an effective firearm for what it's meant to do,
Right,
for sure.
exactly.
Folks, we've covered a lot of shotgun basics here. We hope you've maybe learned something. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure and give us a like if you did. Feel free to always give us comments after the video. We appreciate your feedback. We use it to try to improve our videos and maybe find some topics that we hadn't thought of before. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And remember, if you've ever shot, or hunted with us, you're already a part of the Carter's Country family. Until next time, adios.
Wow, man, it's the first time. Nothing.
We nailed it. Well, no, 180 would be.
Oh, 9 degrees up. You're
Yeah,
right.
90,
I'm sorry.
okay.
I'm pretty poor at math.
Yeah, I didn't know there was going to be math in a gun video.